Welcome, good people, to the channel, T and Tech. Today, I am going to give those of you who are on the edge of looking for a career that can gross you at least $100,000 a year, and get this, with no college degree or prior experience. You can be working at Home Depot, you can be a teacher, law enforcement officer, even a customer service rep, or even a janitor. You just need the correct guidance, and that's what I'm here to do for you guys today. Listen, college is not for everybody. And if I would have had this guidance before I attained my degree and put myself in long term debt, I would have jumped on this in a heartbeat. Today, I am going to show you why Course Careers is the path to $120,000 a year career. If you like what you hear, click on my link in the description and take a look. And if you enroll, use my $50 discount code. All right, people, let's jump into it.
So let's get into it, Caleb. So what we're going to do here today, we're going to help a lot of people. You went from no experience to getting hired in tech sales. And I want to hear more about your journey, because I think there's a lot of people out there who are sitting there thinking, you know what? I don't have experience. I don't have connections. I don't have a degree. Never had an internship. How do I get started? How do I change my life? How do I start making money? And I think that that's what's interesting about your story. So you tell it better than anyone. So why don't you set the stage with maybe where were you at 6-12 months ago? What was going on in your life? And what was that thought of, you know what? I want to change things.
Yeah. So, gosh, a year ago today, I've been going to college while I was working. I work full-time while I go to college full-time. So super busy schedule. And I never really had the time to think about where my life was really headed. I was just constantly working and learning in classes. I was managing a restaurant, a Chipotle. I was really dedicated to, well, actually, it's funny. I was managing a Chipotle, serving at Olive Garden as well, and going to school. So literally, like, no time, 60-hour week plus however many hours I was at school. And I was working super hard, and then I actually broke my foot, and I was out of school, out of work for like a month. And in that time, I'm just sitting there thinking, what am I doing with my life? I was studying political science, which I didn't really care about a whole lot, to be honest with you, but I was just doing it to go to college. I wasn't happy really with either job I was working. I enjoyed talking to people. I enjoyed managing a crew. I enjoyed the competition of like a sales-like experience as a server, but I didn't, I was like, what am I doing? I need to change my life. So that's when I found CourseCareers, but as you know, that was way back in May. So a very long time between May and November when I actually decided to take on the course. Because to be honest with you, I heard, hey, no experience, we train you, you'll get a job, you can make a lot of money, great career path. I mean, you could imagine most people hear that on the internet and say, they're going to take my money somehow. It's a scam. It's not real. It's too good to be true at best. The reality is they're inflating how much you can make. You think all those things. But after a few more months after I got back into workforce, after, my time off and everything, I don't know, it was only 450 for me. So I was like, take a chance, right? And that's how I got into CourseCareers, and I'm very happy that I ended up taking that leap.
So me right now, for my first year at Angie Dude, I plan on making 120. I'm going to push for 120. Okay, my team is amazing. I know I can do it. We can push for 120.
Well, how's your week going so far?
It's going good, man. I've closed a deal a day this week, so it's been a deal a day for my group.
A deal a day? What are you doing?
I work at Angie as an inside sales representative. So we sell our product to service providers, so typically like contractors out in the area. and I have sold a deal a day with the help of my amazing team.
Oh my gosh, man. I feel like I'm selling a deal every month. So you must have some nice commission checks you're coming your way, right?
Coming my way next Wednesday, yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's the fun part about tech sales is you get to sell the deals, you get the flow, you get to speak with the customers, you make the cold calls, which we'll talk a little bit about today. Your process learning that, but when I close a deal, it takes like a month or two for me to get paid out. So it's always that patience of, okay, I want to get that commission check, I want to see it hit my bank, but it takes a little bit of patience.
Exactly.
So I see, Donovan, when I was researching for our conversation today, my understanding is you spent 2 years at McDonald's, you worked your way up there a bit, you got involved with CourseCareers, and now you're closing a deal a day in tech sales. Why don't you take us back maybe 6 months, a year, where you were at mentally, what you were doing, and just where you were at in life?
Okay, so I know how it looks on my LinkedIn because of how long it is,
Yeah,
but it was actually
yeah.
only, I think, 5 months. So I'm actually
Okay.
18. So I graduated high school, right? Right after graduating high school, I was all around guy. I was in the band program, played 8 instruments. I was an all around wrestler. But I didn't accept any of the scholarship offers because I just didn't want to go into debt, right? So I was gonna go to the military. Something happened after I scored like a 91 on the ASVAB, and I said, dude, I need to make money ASAP. So
Yeah.
I was just like working 3 jobs. I was working at a McDonald's, a warehouse, and a vending machine company. I learned how to speak Spanish at that McDonald's. Believe it or not, it was like in 5 months I learned how to speak Spanish, dude. It was crazy. But as I was going through there, I met this guy. His name was Chris G. I'm not sure if you are familiar with him. Like he's a partner with the guy for FinTech. Um,
No.
so Chris G, I paid him, and basically he told me to get into tech sales. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, I was like, okay. And so I just popped on YouTube. It feels like it was yesterday. I popped on YouTube. I was at the warehouse. I was like, okay, tech sales. And then you actually popped up first. And so I saw some of your videos, and then you had showed us your studio, and I was like, dude, this guy's studio is amazing with the jacuzzi and everything like that. And so obviously that led to Course Careers, and I joined Course Careers from that point.
Man, it sounds like your life's completely changed. We're here together. You're in the studio with me right now, Donovan. So we're live. We're talking to the people. You're a versatile dude because I don't know many people who are running out there on the band, but also ready to get down on the mat and start wrestling someone. So I mean, it makes you a really unique guy. It seems like you're driven and entrepreneurial minded. You wanna really live life on your terms, control your own destiny. It seems like you're driven in that way. You're way ahead than I was at 18. I'll tell you that is a fact. I was literally spending all my time playing video games, just not really thinking about anything. I certainly wasn't thinking about money like you were. What do you think led you to think at 18, you know what? I don't want to get in debt. I want to start making money instead of losing money.
Okay. So a big factor was my parents. Number one, my mom, she does have her PhD, and then she was in debt. And then my dad, he started his own company. And so I saw how much these two were making, and I was like, okay, my dad, he's an entrepreneur. So this guy, he's making his type of money, and that's possible. And then it was just, I had some super crazy experience during the summer. I was like, dude, money, 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 money. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna get it.
And
Freak out, yo!
Hey Ernesto, really glad to share your story with the rest of the students. And I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your background.
Sure. So yeah, for those who don't know, yeah, my name is Ernesto. I started this journey 7 months ago, so in July. At that time, I was just not happy with the job that I had. I was working at Metro by T-Mobile, at a phone store, and I was not making a lot of money there. $13.50 an hour, that's like $22K a year. So it wasn't really that good, also the way I was treated, etc. And I ran into one of your videos. So it wasn't you that made it, it was Shane Muniz, I think that's the name of him. And yeah, he was interviewing you. You were talking about CourseCareers. I actually spoke with you on the phone, and you were like, yeah, man, try it out. And I did. And here we are. That's kind of the summary, but yeah, it's been a long journey for sure.
Awesome, man. So you found us from a video, and now you're currently working as a sales development rep, coming from a background where you were making $13.50 an hour working at Metro PCS.
Yeah, I was making like $22K a year. It was not good.
Wow. And rough estimate, how much can you expect to make in your first year as an SDR?
So definitely it's on the 60K. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so around 60K coming from like 22K. So I'll pretty much triple your income.
That's 3 times. And the funny thing too is that I wouldn't say I'm doing less work, but it's like, you know how it is at a retail store, you're doing more things. So in here it's you put in the work, you get paid for it. So yeah.
Exactly. And how does it feel to be able to tell people you work in technology sales now compared to telling people you worked at Metro PCS?
Yeah, I would say, hey man, I'm not a fan anymore. Like shoot. Like, I would see the people's faces when I tell them, yeah, I'm working at Metro by T-Mobile, and they're like, oh, are you going to college? I'm like, well, I guess, yeah, but so it's relieving knowing that there's a future, right? This is once you're in, there's so many opportunities. It's just honestly crazy. So yeah.
For sure. And let's take a step back and learn a little bit more about your background. So, when you're working at Metro PCS, were you in college or did you decide not to go to college? Did you graduate college?
Yeah, so for my first, I was there for 2 years before I decided to make the jump. So when I first started, I wasn't going to college, but the last 5 months that I was there, I was going to college. Yes, and I still am actually. So
Gotcha. Okay, so you're currently enrolled in college and you went through CourseCareers at the same time then?
yeah, it was very hectic, very busy, but yeah.
Wow. And now that you currently landed a position as a sales development rep, are you still enrolled in college?
Yeah, I graduated in February, so yeah. I just want to graduate. Just to say, hey man, I graduated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm sure the other people in school right now are kind of jealous. They're looking at you. You already are working in a job that they would probably envy and wish they could land after they graduate. But
yeah.
awesome job, man. And share us a little bit about the journey going through Course Careers. Like, how long did it take to learn the material? Was it all new to you, or did you already know some of the stuff?
Oof, it was a long journey, man. So, I mean, obviously, I started in the beginning. So, I got into CourseCareers. I started learning about. I didn't know what the concept of an SDR was. I
Mhm.
assume nowadays people are more aware of what it is, but before I even know, so it was learning the foundations. So, what is an SDR? What do they do? Then after I
Mhm.
finished, I was like, oh, okay. So I just go to the partner companies. But then, things started to get busier at the time. Like people started finding out about it. So for
Mhm.
example, for Grin, I was trying to like get to them and there was like 600 applicants. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna need to go job hunting. So it took me 1 month to finish and I started job hunting obviously after I finished. And after that, I just faced like rejection after rejection. I did like, no kidding, I did 1,000 applications, 50 plus interviews. I was grinding a lot because I was trying to find a job. I
Yeah.
like, I went through like BS pyramid scheme interviews, from
Yeah.
those pyramid schemes like War Financial Group, those were BS. And yeah, through all that, I managed to land in that one company, RevGen. And then, yeah, but it took I had to apply a lot. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And what kind of advice, after since you went through the interview process and interviewed with all of these different companies, what advice would you give to someone currently going through that interview process now?
Yeah, I would say there's a ton of information out there that people aren't aware of it, right? Like in school, you're not really taught these things. No one's out here saying, "Hey, when you go into an interview, this is how you have to talk to the recruiter." Because there's like 3 stages before you get the offer, right? So
Hmm.
I didn't even know that going into it. So I think learning how to act on an interview before you go into the interview, that would be helpful. And overall just like talk to your course mates, see who's with you and try to see how they're going. Definitely the community is a big thing.
All right, good people, there you have it. Those were just a few of the testimonials from some of the students who went through Course Careers. And just a little description of what they do and how they got into the tech space, the type of money they're making now versus what they were making before. If you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, please click the link in my description below. Go ahead and take a look at it, see how that works out for you. I also have a $50 discount code if you decide that you want to go ahead and enroll in Course Careers. But go ahead and take a look at it. See if it's something that you would like to do. See if it's something that you're interested in. Trust me, it'll change your life. It changed mine. I was in the insurance industry for about 18 years. I changed that, got into the tech space, and I haven't made this much money in my life. So definitely take a look at it. All right, good people. That'll be it. Until next time.